it was a lot of farms, a lot of fields, pretty much from, 60 miles north to 60 miles. It's all a community. And so if you look at the Wasatch Front, it's one big community. And I think people are starting to realize we just held All-Star. It was one of the most successful All-Star games that they've ever had. It was digital first. We have 250,000 college kids within 60 miles. You look at the youth. I mentioned as being the youth, lowest unemployment, number one economy, top 4 tech boom. And you got 7 million people that come into this area for tourism to ski and I think people are also going, hey, wow, there's something about the mountains and the wellness of Utah. And Delta just put, $3 billion into the airport. And we come here, we can get places, we can live, we can spread out. But in a world where wellness is a premium in all aspects of life, people are going, hey, this is where I want to be, especially when I can live wherever now.
A lot of people are wearing Golden Knights jerseys here. A ton of people are wearing Raiders stuff here. A pipe dream for the NHL or MLB to be in Vegas?
No, we're in those conversations. I've talked to Gary frequently. I think if you look at SEG and what we've done, we're 2.5 years in taking over the Jazz. We obviously the arena, we brought the Delta Center back. I think it's the first time in sports that we've been able to actually bring the naming back. I mean, Carl was here tonight. He walks in, he's like, holy cow, it just feels different, right? If you look at, we just launched a media company to go wall to wall in the state of Utah. So we'll have 3-point-something million people that have access to games. It's the first in the NBA, the first thing like it. We're going direct to consumer as well, and we're going to sign a deal to go outside of the state because we're 30 minutes from Wyoming and Idaho, and there's a lot of people from there that came down to see the fight. And so as you start to look at the power of how to activate this new Utah, and when it comes together, I think All-Star Game was probably the first time it all came together. And everyone's like, whoa, this is what it looks like. Since the Olympics, maybe. And then if you go fast forward, there's events like this where it came together. You look at the Olympics coming back, it's coming together. And I think people are realizing, like, what the power of this place is. So hockey's on the radar. I think we can walk in on day one and have an incredible presence. So I'm excited. I mean, obviously I'm in the business, so it's fun.
There's a nice rivalry kind of building a little bit between Salt Lake and Vegas. A lot of fans go down there.
Yeah, it's hard. My wife's from Vegas, so there's no rivalry. I mean, it's a different experience. But there's parts of Utah that are an hour away from Vegas. And so I think you look at the geography side. There's a strong connection between here and there. But I think if you look at hockey specific, like an expansion team to come in and first 3 years win a championship, it's a playbook and a model of how to expand, and especially to have Seattle there. So I think it's exciting. Any more hockey questions?
Hey, Ryan. Mark Powell was telling me earlier this week about how when you...
Are you wearing a collar? That's nice.
You've seen me in a suit before. Mark Powell was telling me how when you bought the Jazz and the Delta Center, you asked him, is there anything I can help you with? And he told you right then, reach out to your buddies at Endeavor so we can get a pay-per-view here. Can you kind of just recap how those early conversations went about making UFC pay-per-views in Salt Lake City a reality?
Yeah, I mean, I think, so first of all, just because you have friends at Endeavor doesn't mean you're going to get a UFC fight. I mean, you've got to be able to do what this place just did, right? But, I'm close with Ari. Silver Lake, obviously, is who owns Endeavor and are a big piece of it. And they also, own my company as well. So we're all in the family a little bit. But I think those relationships are great. And I think there's a lot of trust that they know how I operate, and they're willing to go out a little bit on a limb maybe if you didn't know each other. And so I think any time that you can work in business and there's a little bit more trust, trust is key. And so, but at the end of the day, that's all great, but you've got to have a market and a place that can perform like this place has. And so I think, you know, I think our relationships just add on top of that, that there's a relationship and some trust there and some built-in history.
Ryan, with everyone seemingly like shocked by how great Utah is from All-Star Weekend to UFC, it's like people are having these realizations of, oh, wow, this is a place to be. For you, is it kind of like a long time coming? Like you're like, okay, now people are seeing what I've always had seen kind of thing?
No, not at all. I think the only reason why people don't see it is because no one's ever spoken for Utah before. Like people speak against Utah and no one ever says anything from Utah's standpoint. I mean, we built one of the greatest tech ecosystems in the world. The tech world knows very well about Utah. But I think now what you're seeing is someone say, in a group in a state, say, no, actually we have a voice. Like, come check it out. And you're seeing moments where people are saying, whoa, I was able to come to Utah and experience it. And it's different. It's just different. There's something about, I mean, I heard someone came to me today say, like, I got off the plane and I got here and I just kind of took a deep breath. And I was like, huh. Or Travis Scott came to an NBA game last year and he just stood up and said, I just love Utah when I come here. Like there's just this, it's just different. And I mean, I've got 26 offices around the world for tech. Like, it's not like we don't go everywhere. We just choose to live here. And I think forever there's this notion that maybe people were here not by choice. And I don't, I mean, I think for me, this is my passion. My passion is building Utah. And, you know, it's crazy how sports has come into that. And if, you know, I'm willing to kind of put everything I've got behind that. And it's pretty cool to work on. It's pretty cool to be able to work on a state. And it's fun. It's a fun thing, and I believe in it. And I believe in things. I mean, I had a judge come up tonight and say, hey, I started at UFC just here, and now I'm hired on full time. Like, that's cool. That's a cool experience. So those things, there's a lot that still happens. And no state's perfect. I mean, come on. But I think we're less screwed up than everyone else.
Hey, Ryan, can I ask one more question about that? Have you seen that Cosm, the new kind of?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, can you talk about that?
So we did an event. One of the things that was really cool is Dwayne and the crew, they do a spades event for every All-Star. It's kind of one of these cool events. And we did this event at Cosm. And there's something there. There's something there. I mean, I think, you know, one day, I think the indoor-outdoor, you know, providing that experience outside, it would be really, really cool. But I love that idea. I think there's a lot of innovation that can happen around the way we view live sports. I think we're early days. And I know the NBA's tried a bunch of stuff. Hockey's tried it. I think there's something there. But I'm a big fan. I love it. I mean, you look at it, you just see it differently. And by the way, it's not like we're not experiencing that with screens. Everyone's screens are bigger. So when those worlds can overlap and make it a little bit more interactive, like, I think we're all in on that. And to have it here in Salt Lake, it's pretty cool. All right, thank you.
Derrick, an amazing win and one of the greatest celebrations we've ever seen from you, and you've had a lot of them. So, I mean, can you just tell us kind of what this moment and this win really meant for you?
First of all, man, you lost some weight, man.
A little bit.
Yeah, I can see.
I appreciate that.
You got a chin now, man. You lost
Hey,
some weight.
I mean, you got a six-pack. I got no excuses now.
Yeah, for sure you lost some weight. Good job.
I appreciate it.
But the win means a lot to me. I had a lot of pressure was on me coming into this fight, and I just wanted to prove to everyone that I'm still one of the best fighters in the world.
When you talk about the pressure, like pressure from the outside or pressure you put on yourself?
Pressure I put on myself. You know, I finally did everything right. I trained my ass off for 11 weeks straight. I didn't drink any sodas. That's probably one of the keys. Me getting a little six-pack, that's about it.
I like that. Like you said, you had the six-pack. I mean, do you attribute this win to that? I mean, just the dedication? Is that what provided all this?
For sure it's a dedication. I probably only missed like 1 day of camp. 2 days. 2 days. 2 days of camp. You know, I was cramping, you know, PMSing, so I had to sit out a couple of days.
Nice. When you heard him, you know, you dropped him, and obviously you swarmed with the punches, and you did cover up a little bit. Was there any thought in your mind, like, I need to slow down a little bit because obviously the elevation and all that, or did you just know, like, I'm getting it done right now?
It was a thought for a second. Then I was like, shit, I've been out here for 2 weeks, and I've been training hard, and, like, the elevation out there in Deer Valley where I was staying, it was way higher than it is here. And so I was like, I felt like I just had the cardio to go.
Last thing for me, you kind of dropped a surprise, I guess, saying this was your last fight on your contract. I mean, do you have a desire to go chase free agency and see what's out there? Or are you hoping that you come back to the UFC?
I'm hoping to stay here in the UFC. You know, I like it here. I like the staff, Nobi. She's pretty cool. But everybody's cool here except for the media. You know, y'all dickheads. Like, fuck all y'all, really. I should walk out right now, y'all. But go ahead. Next question.
Derrick right here. When did you take the pants off as a spur in the moment thing, or did you know
Why
that?
everybody keep saying pants?
Shorts.
They're shorts.
Shorts.
Now, the what?
Was that just spur of the moment, or do you know if you won?
Spur of the moment. You know, my dick got a mind of his own. So I don't even know. It do what it wants. Spur of the moment.
You retook the UFC knockout record tonight. You were briefly tied with Matt Brown there, but you got it back. Sole possession. What does that mean for you?
It means something. You know, shit, I work hard. You know, I wanted to get something fantastic out there, you know, to let everyone know that I'm still one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. And so I just wanted to go out there and prove that.
Do you feel like you have another title running in you now?
I believe I do. You know, it was just so crazy and frustrating, like me losing to the guys that I lost to, and like it's no way in hell I should have lost to those guys. So that was another reason why I wanted to train my ass off for this fight, because now I got a lot of guys calling me out now, and I showed and like that. The last guy that called me out was Curtis Blaze, and you know what happened to that. So
Which
I
of
don't
those?
like guys calling me out.
Which of those losses burns at you the most?
Probably the last two really, both of them Russian guys. But it is what it is.
If you make it to the title, would you like John Jones to be the guy to be there?
Oh, it doesn't matter who it is. You know, it doesn't matter.
What do you do to celebrate a win like this tonight?
I'm in Utah, so I don't know what's illegal, what I can and can't do. So I got to be careful out here. I don't even think it's black people out here, so I don't know. Probably got to wait till I get home. Shit.
Derrick, now that you've done a camp and you've come here, you've got the six-pack and you've seen the performance it can give you, do you think you'll be able to continue doing this every time you come to fight?
I probably can, but I love root beer. And so that was one of the things I stopped drinking. My coach said that I'll end up having a six-pack if I stop drinking sodas. So I said, hell no. So I ended up stopping drinking sodas and start drinking sparkling water. He said if I stop drinking sparkling water and switch up to some ice drink, then I'll probably get a six-pack. I didn't believe what he was saying. I didn't believe it. I ended up getting one.
When you noticed it, were you like, oh my God, finally, after all these years?
Yeah, it was finally. So I was like, me and my wife, so I was just telling her, I'm laying on my back. You're going to feel these six-pack. So it is what it is.
Is she appreciative of it?
Oh, she appreciated it. But I don't like that she liked me more now since I got a six-pack. Shit, I've been with her ass for 14 years.
Yeah.
Shit, without a six-pack, she should have liked me before then.
Well, it's the person inside that matters, Derrick.
Yeah, it's a person, I guess. But it's whatever.
Did you know you were going to throw a flying knee right out the gate?
I always wanted to throw a flying knee out the gate. It was just, I believe it's perfect time because he liked to keep a high guard. he don't back up really. He try to keep a high guard, wait for you to throw something so he can throw leg kicks or swing his wild hooks. And so I just knew that the flying knee or the 1-2 straight off the bat was going to be there.
Congratulations on the win.
Appreciate it.
You may not be able to celebrate here, but what'd you think of Utah?
Utah is beautiful. It's real beautiful. The weather this week been bipolar though, but it's been real beautiful. It could be sunny as hell. Then all of a sudden, damn storm come out of nowhere. But it's nice.
We call those monsoons. Did you feel you kind of briefly mentioned it because you were like, I was getting a little tired. Like you just were like, why am I so tired? I've been here for 2 weeks. Did you feel the elevation like during that fight, or were you just fighting? Obviously.
Oh, I didn't feel the elevation at all. I didn't get tired. I just felt good. You know, I was in Deer Valley for 2 weeks, and I believe Deer Valley helped me out a lot with my conditioning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good.
Dustin, I know it's not easy right now, so thanks for coming to speak with us. First of all, I guess can we just get your initial reactions to how you're feeling at the moment?
It sucks, you know. Obviously, losing sucks, but I've lost before. I've said the same thing before. It's not cool to be acquainted with these feelings, but I've been here before, you know. But man, the career I've had and the fights I've had and where I come from, I feel like I've already won, you know. So I'm just taking it minute by minute right now, you know, but I'm good.
No doubt.
I'm good. If I win like a man, I got to be able to lose like a man, and so.
Absolutely, a great example. Success early, right? I mean, were things playing out the way you thought?
Felt great. I felt like I had a good rhythm. He was moving backwards a lot, you know, kind of making me chase him, and I didn't want to open up too much brawling trying to get him. I had him hurt, but I knew we had 5 rounds, and I could kind of tell he was hurt, but he was kind of baiting a little bit. He wasn't all the way there, ready to be finished. He wasn't done yet, and I can see he wanted to throw that right hand, and we were both dry, and it was kind of still, you know, 1 round into the fight, and I didn't want to run into that right hand. We had 4 more to go. If I did it to him in the first, it was going to happen again later. In my head, I thought it was a veteran move. Maybe I should have hit the gas.
I was going to ask you, in hindsight, I mean, I guess it's easy to look back, right? But now you're like, damn it, I should have.
It's always 2020.
Yeah.
I thought I had 4 more rounds. I didn't know I had 2 more minutes. But it is what it is, man. Losing sucks. And I felt great. I had a long camp. Easiest cut of my career. Yeah.
I guess the only good thing maybe from a fan perspective is it means maybe a trilogy down the line. Is that a fight that needs to happen again at some point?
We'll see, man. We're 1-1. We knocked each other out. We'll see.
Nice. Last thing for me, I guess I imagine family time is the first thing on your mind. But I mean, do you think about what interests you? I mean, you were going for the championship, and that's it. I mean,
that was the goal.
Are there other fights that interest you, or?
No, honestly, no. Even this one, like before this one, when they offered me Benil, I was just like, I'm not that excited about it. But when this one came, it got me scared and nervous because what just happened could happen. That's what kept me waking up every morning, ready to bust my ass. And I knew not only the excitement of the fight, the danger of the fight that would motivate me, a win would get me, you know, we're number 2 and 3. Number 1 already beat us, and he's fighting for the title again. How much higher on the ladder can I go? So I went over to him, I thought would have been a lock to get the title shot. So we'll see, man. I don't know.
I mean, is there a chance this is the last time you fight, or I mean, you're just frustrated at the moment?
I still feel great, you know, dude. I got hit with a shot I just didn't see. Like naturally, just instincts. I had one hand up, just you know, from years of training, but the foot still got around. I haven't seen it. I need to rewatch it. Foot got around good, got me. I just didn't even see it, but I still can compete. Like I said before, I have tread on the tires, dude. I feel great. You know, I just did a 9-week camp in South Florida and pushed myself every day. Had the easiest weight cut of my life. I know I busted my ass. That's why losing sucks, because you do all this work, you know, and nothing's guaranteed. You know, I'm not saying I did, but what if I worked 5 times harder than Justin, busted my ass, sacrificed, did all these things, and you go out there and it's the unknown. But that's what makes us love it, you know, because the underdog always has a chance in there under those lights, and it just sucks when you're on the other side of it, you know.
Dustin, over here. Justin's not known to throw a whole lot of head kicks. So is that technique? Did you expect that at all from him in preparation?
No, I was kind of surprised he threw a high kick in the first round, and luckily I had something in between us when it landed. But I didn't think he was going to go back to it, and I was kind of trying to hide my kick to the body with the cross, kind of the same thing he did. And he kept dipping so hard when I threw that body kick. He kept dipping, and then one time I said, I'm going to switch it and throw the left hand and throw the knee down the middle, and I'll catch him. And he pulled back on that one. The one time I did something different, he pulled back. So, that's fighting. That's why I love this sport. It's the theater of the unknown out there. It's heartbreaking, but I keep coming back like Pookie, It keeps calling me. I can't stop. So we'll see what happens, man. I might need another hit. I don't know. I'm just taking it one day at a time, 1 minute at a time right now. But I'm happy. My life is good. My family's good. My daughter's excited for me to get home. We're not at a funeral here. I've won. I've won life. I already won. Where I come from, I've already won, man.
Doesn't this probably is too soon to even think about, but sometimes we see guys try maybe a new weight class, right? Is that you've made no secret that you don't really love the cut to 155. Could you see yourself trying 170 next time out?
Dude, I probably could have cut another 5-6 pounds night before last. It wasn't a hard cut at all. I don't get over 183, and I train with and know a lot of very high level lightweights who are a lot heavier than me. I'm not the biggest lightweight. I don't know if it's just over time. This was my 47th mixed martial arts fight, so I don't know if the cuts kind of did something to my body, but it's just hard for me to get down. But I'm not a big guy. I'm waking up 78 back home training. Yeah,
it's kind of weird, right? Because you say you love the sport so much, but there are some fights you just can't get excited for. So is it kind of just I need to take some time and eventually my head will sort itself out about what I want to do next?
We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Time heals all, so I just need to get some clarity and see what I'm going to do and what makes sense. I'm not fighting. This was an opportunity to get another title shot, I thought, and especially the BMF belt. That's something, that's legacy. That's cool. I wanted to put that, that would really tie the room together, man. I wanted to put that in my home, but it is what it is. You take your L's and you keep moving. I don't know what's going to happen next. I really don't. I don't think that far. I still feel good. I have a lot of fights, under my belt. But like I say, I have tread on the tires. I feel good. I can compete with these young guys in the gym. It's just, we'll see. I don't know. What am I fighting for? I'm not fighting just to fight. I did that my whole life. My whole life I've done that. I don't want to fight just to fight. I want it to be for something. And if it's just another fight,
There's a world where if he wins his next one, you can rematch him for the BMF and the UFC title.
Who?
If Gaethje wins the title, you could rematch him for both BMF and the UFC goal.
Yeah, we are 1-1. We both stopped each other, so that would be a good one.
Hey, Dustin, you just said that, you're not fighting to fight, but, are you interested at all at fighting these up-and-coming guys? Or is it just basically, money fights, big names? Are you interested in fighting up-and-coming prospects?
Not really. No.
Thanks, man.
Dustin, just right here. You mentioned not sure of the future, but what is your process when you go home and kind of make your determinations on what makes sense?
Well, I'm leaving Monday. I'm staying here an extra day. When I get home Monday, me and the Good Fight Foundation have the backpack drive. So I'll be out doing that. That'll be my main focus when I get home. And after that, I'm taking my daughter on vacation like we always do. In the summertime when I fight, we always go on a family vacation. And I'll just lick my wounds there and kind of see what's next and see what makes sense. And I'll talk to Hunter and Dana, and we'll see, man. I don't know.
And this was obviously a high-stakes fight, but it's the first loss in a long time that wasn't an undisputed title fight.
Yeah.
So is the feeling right now a little bit different, just knowing that, it's not the absolute pinnacle where this setback happened?
No, it feels the same. It sucks, man. It really does, I've lost big fights before and sat here and cried in front of you guys, and I'm trying not to do that now, I put a lot into this. It means a lot to me, but I got to be able to take it, I dish it out, I got to take it. It just sucks. I really wanted the belt. That's a legacy fight for my career. But it is what it is. This is fighting. There's no sympathy. I signed up for it. I knew what I was getting into. And that's why we love it, because anything could happen. And it did. This is fighting.
Thanks for coming back.
Dustin, really quick over here. In the first round, it was a bunch of Justin chants. In the second round, they were resounding for you. I don't know if you heard that in there, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious of what you thought of the Salt Lake backdrop, the fans. There was a whole lot of love and support for you this week.
And I appreciate it. You know, a lot of these hardcore fans have seen me grow up in this organization and grow up in this sport. You know, I've been doing it a long time. This, you know, I'm playing. This is gonna be my 30th win. This was total my 47th mixed martial arts fight. You know, I think my 29th or 30th in the UFC. You know, it was. They've seen me evolve and grow into the fighter I am, so they've kind of followed along the journey. So I know I do have good support, and I appreciate them so much. You know, yeah. But I heard them out there.
Over here in the middle, I just have to ask you, because you are staying an extra day, just what do you think of competing and fighting in Utah? Did you feel elevation? Were you able to see the city? What do you think of this place?
I thought it was great. You know, I had a great week. I had a great week here. No, I can complain about nothing. I got here end of last week. The elevation was fine. I was up 1,000 feet above where we fought tonight in the mountains. We did runs, hikes. I slept in a altitude tent at the end of camp for a couple weeks to prepare for this. The altitude had nothing. You know, I felt great. I felt fine.
Dustin, in the first round, you were adjusting with your shorts a lot. What was going on there?
I had hands in my pants.
What was it? An equipment issue with the shorts, getting ready for the kicks, or?
No, it's just a nervous tick I have, I think. Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you.
Chama. Congratulations. Your first win at light heavyweight. Just giving your thoughts on the feel of your performance afterwards.
Bom, parabéns. E sua primeira vitória no meio pesado. Fala pra gente aí o que você sente.
Bom, sentindo muito bem, né? Pô, foi uma grande luta. Claro, sempre difícil, né? Pô, falando de outro guerreiro ali. Um cara que tem uma história bacana aí, ex-campeão. Mas eu vim bem preparado, a gente planejou muito bem, 2 semanas aqui em Utah, então isso fez uma grande diferença.
Well, I feel very good, you know, when we like against a great war, and you know what I mean, with a big history, former champ, but me and the team did a great game plan to come to Utah 2 weeks before, and then, you know, so it happened. We're happy.
Very nice. Obviously, a difficult opening round for you. I guess giving your thoughts after the first 5 minutes as to how things were playing out.
O primeiro round foi meio difícil, né? Fala pra gente o que passou na sua cabeça depois dos primeiros 5 minutos.
Bom, eu sabia que ele queria me colocar para baixo. Ele não fez o que ele falou. Ele viu o perigo e já quis me colocar para baixo. E eu fiquei ali, né? Primeiro round foi como eu tive assim uma lembrança, né, da minha primeira luta, da minha estreia, né, com o Mihailidze, né, eu fiz ele cansar o primeiro round e eu ia começar a trabalhar ali do segundo em diante, foi o que eu fiz, um segundo round ali, que eu quase nocauteio ele, e, o terceiro round ali também, batendo o tempo todo, mas no finalzinho ele me colocou para baixo, que eu certeza que isso não vai ganhar a luta, não vai ganhar o round.
Well, first round, he didn't stick with what he said. He said I was going to trade, then he came straight for the takedown. But I stayed patient. A flashback came on my mind from my first fight in the UFC against Mihailidze, the same situation. So I just warned him out, let him grind himself out on me so I could win the second and third. You know, second round, the guy saw that I almost knocked him out in the end. I was better. Third round, too. He scored a takedown in the end, but I don't think it was enough to win that round due to the damage that I put on him.
I was going to ask you that opening round. Obviously, he won the round, but is it a round that you're almost proud of because you were in a really bad position where probably everybody's going to want to put you, but you showed that you can survive?
Até falando de novo do primeiro, você tá orgulhoso porque você foi colocado numa posição muito difícil, que muitas pessoas ali não aguentariam e todos vão tentar te colocar e você saiu tranquilo ali.
Não, com certeza, todo mundo conhece o Ian e, sabe do potencial dele. Às vezes, talvez as pessoas teve ainda tinha uma outra expectativa, falar, pô, eu não vi muita coisa. Eu achei que eu ia ver mais, mas a gente está falando de um ex-campeão, né, de um cara que está acostumado com 37 lutas aí na carreira, né, e eu com poucas lutas já, porra, lutei com um cara desse, né, e fiz o que eu fiz hoje. Acho que se as pessoas pensarem assim, né, um pouquinho, vai me dar um crédito nisso.
Well, absolutely. You know what I mean? We talk about Jan Blachowicz, you know, very experienced guy. He have 37 professional fights. He's been seasoned, been through all, you know what I mean? Some people might expect a little more, but I think, you know what I mean, you can see my evolution on the ground and what I could show.
Nice. Yeah, obviously, you said you took over the last 2 rounds. He did get that leg takedown. How concerned were you at all? I mean, were you confident you were going to get the judge's decision, or were you worried at all that they might value that late takedown too much?
E com certeza você ganhou os últimos 2 rounds, mas teve aquela queda no terceiro. Você estava preocupado em dar a decisão para ele?
Ah, não, poxa, no primeiro round ali, a gente começou, pô, eu encaixei aquela guilhotina, mas eu falei, pô, não vou puxar aqui, a gente já tinha planejado, pô, tinha falado pra minha equipe, eu falei, pô, vou ir na calma, então eu não me empolguei ali, esperei, pô, teve aquele momento que ele foi nas minhas costas, que eu vi que ele se desgastou muito, e foi nítido, né, o cansaço dele, né, no segundo round, onde eu conectei muitos golpes duros ali. Então, pô, no terceiro também, e último round, mesma coisa, sempre conectando, machucando a perna dele ali. E, pô, sacanagem se colocar um round desse pra ele, no finalzinho colocar uma queda ali e não fazer nada, né, na queda. Não teve, que perigo que teve naquela queda. Então, pô, claramente ali os 2 rounds meus.
No, I believe he won because, you know, first round, he put Jan on that guillotine. He didn't want it to jump, but, you know, it was tight. Then on the end of the round, he got his back, but you saw how patient he stayed. Second round, clearly everybody saw how fatigued and gas Jan got from the first round. So, you know, you saw what happened through that round. You know, the third round, the same story. So that little takedown, he achieved no damage after that, anything like that. You'll be sad if somebody had gave the guy that fight.
Nice. Last thing for me, are you expecting a title fight next, and who do you think is the most deserving opponent?
A última para ele, está esperando uma luta do cinturão a próxima, e quem seria o seu oponente?
Bom, eu não sei, né? Pô, eu acho que, na minha visão, o mais difícil aí era o Jan mesmo. Bom, ex-campeão, um cara perigoso, todo mundo viu. Então, para mim, quem eles colocar, para mim não vai importar. Eu tô aqui para fazer o meu trabalho, eu gosto de fazer isso. Vou treinar para dar um show e sair com mais uma vitória.
Man, anybody, you know what I mean? For me, I think the toughest guy that I could get is Jan, former champ. So whoever they put in front of me, I'm going to train and going to leave with the win.
Alex, over here. At the end of that second round, you were looking for that uppercut often, especially when Jan had his back to the cage. What did you see from Jan did you see an opening for him that led to that technique so often?
Pô, no segundo você estava bem, deu aquele upper nele, né, que ele sentiu bem. Quando que você viu ali no segundo e começou a abrir para você?
Bom, vendo no primeiro round, né, foi o que eu planejei. Eu vi a força que ele fez ali, né, para tentar me finalizar, para ficar ali nas costas. Ele não estava confortável ali em cima, ele estava meio de lado ali em cima de mim, na grade, e eu estava o tempo todo ali tentando fazer ele ficar ali em cima mesmo, entendeu? Porque se de repente ele vai para o chão ali, aí ele descansa, entendeu? E aí a gente começa a cansar junto. Então, foi bem estratégico, eu fiz ele cansar sozinho, é onde comecei a crescer na luta.
The opening for me was on the first round when he was on his back, Jan was on his back, that he knew he had to use a lot of energy to maintain that position. And he knew if maybe he put Jan on his back, he was able to rest, and they rest together. So he think that what took the turn on the fight was that first round, that grappling exchange, that he was able to perform better on the strikings after that due to his fatigue.
And last one for me, is any part of you surprised at how quickly you've ascended in the UFC? You had, 4 fights at middleweight, and then you're champion, now 1 fight at light heavyweight, and you're most likely going to fight for the title next. Is any part of you surprised that your success has been so rapid?
Alguma parte de você está surpresa com o sucesso tão rápido que você está tendo no UFC? Por 4 lutas e depois o título mundial dos médios, agora uma já no meio pesado e vai lutar pelo cinturão. Tem algo dentro de você que você acha que está sendo rápido?
Bom, eu tô com as pessoas certas, com a equipe certa, empresário, amigos. Eu acho que isso faz uma grande diferença, né? E a minha dedicação, né? O que eu venho fazendo desde o kickbox, né? Fazendo até chegar aqui. E, meu trabalho é sério e eu só preciso de oportunidade. Se me dá oportunidade, eu mostro meu trabalho.
No, man, I'm not surprised. I have a great team. You know what I mean? My manager, my friends, you know what I mean? I live a good atmosphere, positive. And that's all that I need, man, a chance. Give me a chance and I'll show my work. Can you repeat for me, please? Bom, você já tem uma característica de atacar muito o corpo. Hoje foi uma coisa que você focou mais no corpo. Você tem uma característica que gosta de bater bastante no corpo. Parece que foi que mostrou bastante hoje. Isso foi uma coisa que você veio planejando?
Não, com certeza, eu sempre faço isso. Eu acho que eu tenho uma variação muito boa de golpes, né? Tentei chutar ali, chutando na perna, colocando os golpes embaixo ali, o golpe no rosto. A gente tem que tentar variar o golpe ali para ver aonde que vai dar certo.
No, absolutely, man. I like to mix. You saw tonight I was attacking the body, attacking the leg, then attacking the head. I believe you got to mix to reach your objective.
Hey, Alex. You beat the guy that Israel Adesanya lost to at light heavyweight. Do you hope Israel comes up to light heavyweight and so that you can fight him again at light heavyweight?
Pô, você ganhou do cara que ganhou do Adesanya no meio pesado, né? Você espera que o Israel suba para você lutar com ele no meio pesado?
Bom, quando eu sempre falo isso, quando eu saí do vestiário, né, na minha última luta com a Adesanya, antes até eu falei que, eu queria subir, né? Antes da luta eu falei isso, né? No meu corte de peso está sendo um pouco sofrido, né? E, planejei tudo, né? Queria ter um descanso, né? De corte de peso. Eu fiz a primeira luta agora, tenho certeza que eles vão me dar o cinturão, vou disputar o cinturão, E, eu vou descansar mais uma vez e ganhando esse cinturão, com certeza, eu gostaria mais uma luta com a Adesanya, mas eu faria na categoria de baixo, porque eu acho muito justo, né? Eu acho justo, porque a gente tem 2 lutas, né, empatado aí no MMA e é no peso médio, então acho que teria que ser a terceira luta no peso médio.
Well, before actually my last fight happened, when I made weight, you know what I mean, I told the guys that I was going to be for now taking a break from that weight class due that is getting hard a little bit, you know what I mean, too many cuts at the same in a short span of time. So he went up to light heavyweight now, did this fight. He want to do one more fight at light heavyweight, take some time from all those cuts, and then he actually wants to fight him in the lower weight class, in middleweight, because on his mind is they are 1-1 at middleweight. He won one at middleweight, Israel won on the other one, so nothing more fair than make the trilogy at middleweight.
Gotcha. And then finally, there's a couple Glory kickboxers coming to compete on Dana White's Contender Series. Are you happy to see other high-level kickboxers coming over to MMA?
Pô, e agora estão chegando aí vários, né, outros kickboxers de alto padrão aí no Dana White Contender. Você tá feliz de ver essa galera aí vindo pro MMA?
Não, com certeza, né? Tem o Yusuf Belgaro, parceirão de treino. Tá comigo aí, já faz 3 preparações, né? E vai lutar no Contender agora. É um cara que, eu tenho certeza aí que vai ser um sucesso nessa categoria aí no médio. É um cara que eu conheço. E é isso, o Trator também, né? O Rodolfo também tá, o campeão da LFA, tá vindo aí também. Vai participar do Contender e, esses 2 caras estão voando e, tô muito feliz de ter eles aqui na minha preparação.
No, absolutely. It makes me happy, especially right now, for an example, Yusuf Belgari, you know what I mean, training partner, third camp that he's with us, and he's making his debut this month in the Contender Series. You know what I mean, great kickboxer, great fighter. Not only him, but also Rodolfo Tractor Bellato also making his debut. He's fighting in the Contender Series, training with us too. So seeing these guys in the trying to get that contract and that chance makes me really happy.
Você fez a primeira luta no meio pesado hoje. Qual que é a diferença que você sentiu na mão do Ian com que você estava acostumado na categoria de baixo?
Bom, cara, diferença nenhuma, né? Um cara forte ali, mas eu, tava absorvendo bem os golpes, então ele me acertou alguns golpes, mas nada assim de fazer eu sentir, então isso me deixou mais confiante, né, e fazer o que eu fiz.
Well, he was asked if coming from middleweight and fighting Ian today, if he feel a difference on the power on the stand-up exchanges compared to the power of middleweights, and he say, Ian, tough guy, but he didn't feel too much difference today.
E você acha que a luta foi também uma resposta para quem ainda duvida de você, porque você defendeu a finalização ali no primeiro round e teve outros momentos da luta que você conseguiu defender quedas também. Você acha que é uma resposta para pessoas que duvidam que você pode fazer isso?
Não, com certeza, né? Algumas pessoas vão falar, mas eu não vi muita coisa. Claro, a gente está falando do ex-campeão, né? Um cara duro. Então, é difícil você mostrar. E o que eu mostrei, eu acho que foi muito legal.
Well, he asked also if this was a response for who was questioning his grappling, because this fight, you could see he got taken down. He was able to defend the submissions and work on. And Alex say absolutely, because you know what I mean. He fought former champ today, very seasoned guy, and I think that shows.
Hey, how are you feeling physically? It doesn't really even look like you were just in a fight.
Como é que você está se sentindo fisicamente? Nem parece que você tinha lutado agora.
Estou me sentindo muito bem. Como falei para vocês, uma perda de uma perda de peso muito boa. Eu diria aí 20, 30% aí de sofrimento, né, com as outras. Mas como falei para vocês, preciso ter esse descanso e eu volto e fica tudo certo. Recarregar a bateria.
Nah, he feels good, man. You know what I mean? He feels energized, recharged, compared to the few other weight, because this one was only 20 to 30% compared to the other ones. But like he say, he just need a little break to rest a little bit, and he's gonna do some finished business at middleweight.
Chama.
Thanks, guys.
Justin, congratulations. Obviously, the BMF belt, avenging a loss, another highlight reel finish. I mean, what did this performance mean for you tonight?
Life's crazy, man. You know, I thank God every day for this ride, and it means everything. Yeah, to feel to work that hard for something and find success is a special feeling.
It's awesome. You knew there would be some adversity going in, right? He stung you a little bit in the opening round. Were there any surprises or anything different this time around that you weren't expecting?
I was surprised by myself. You know how good I fought. It was amazing.
That's a nice thing to be surprised about. Nothing that he did in there that bothered you, that left hand that he landed that caused you any trouble?
Obviously, that's what I thought about every day for the last 12 weeks is the left hand. That thing's dangerous. Yeah, I really didn't want to get hit by it, but today my coach said, don't worry about it. That's not what we're worried about. We're worried about fighting a fight, fighting your fight. And I went in there and I did that.
I love it. You said, as you mentioned, you were throwing the high kick early on, right? I mean, when you're throwing it out there, were you like, oh, this is going to be the shot that ultimately catches him?
No way. It's a second at a time in there. So, I didn't even really understand that was working in the first round. I just was trying not to get hit by that left hand pretty much.
This obviously, as you said, was great for legacy, but I mean, it would seem very much the winner of Islam and Charles will be next for you. I mean, is there anything else in the division, any other matchup, anything that makes sense other than you versus the winner of that fight?
We'll see, man. The UFC is the guys, they make the calls, so we'll see what happens. I have no idea.
Would you go out there to be there or, be around the fight? Would you want to be a backup so that you're involved? I mean, is that anything that appeals to you?
I'd want to go watch it. Yeah. I don't think I'd want to be a backup.
Fair enough.
Unless they pay me a shit ton of money, then maybe.
Then maybe, yeah. That works. All right, well, it seems like it should be next. I guess last thing for me, do you feel like at some point, obviously the title would be next, but somewhere down the road, this is a trilogy that needs to be settled between you two?
In the cage after the fight, I said, hey, man, if we let's both agree to never fight each other again. I said, unless you have to have it, then I'm here. But we're 1-1, so we'll see. I would never deny him that opportunity, just like he did not deny me that opportunity. But, I don't want it to be my next fight.
Justin, over here. Dustin was in here earlier, and he said that the high kick, he wasn't really expecting that because you don't throw it often. So was that part of the game plan, or did you just throw it once and then just kept throwing it again?
I wouldn't. The game plan has nothing to do with offense. It's all about defense and controlling angles, controlling distance. So the strikes that I landed were, I trust in my intuition so much, and I rely on that, and that's how I fight.
Last one for me. I'm sure you've been asked about it, and you saw the tweets. Connor said, fuck Chandler. If you want it, ask for it. He's the real BMF. Do you have a response to him?
I think he's turned me down 6 times. So, and usually you have to lose to fight him, so I don't know what's going on.
Justin, right here. You hit the backflip tonight. How good did that feel? It's been a minute.
It feels good. Yeah. Life's crazy, man. This is such a cool cool life. Couldn't imagine I'd be here as a child. You know, I thank God every day for this.
And 12 bonuses and 12 fights again.
Really, it's 12 bonuses and 10 fights. I didn't bonus in 2 fights. I double bonused in 2 fights. So I like 12 out of 10 better, but it is 12 out of 12, you know, kind of.
We asked you before the fight, you know, about who, Islam or Charles. Now that it's over and it seems like there's a much more clear path, do you have any different feelings about who you'd like to fight?
I prefer Charles because he beat me. I'm a competitor. I love, you know, this chance at redemption was amazing. It drove me to work harder, be ready, you know, more. But they're the best in the world, so, and I want to fight the best in the world. After the last fight, I couldn't see Charles winning, but, you know, I can hope.
And just to circle back to the Connor thing, you know, it's always kind of been floating out there, but to have him, you know, speaking your name and like putting it out there, is it almost like a gratifying feeling a little bit that now he seems to be the one who's chasing you?
I don't know. You know, I don't really care.
Why do you feel that way?
Because I don't care. Yeah, whatever. I fight MMA. You know, I like to fight big fights. I like exciting things. So it sounds pretty exciting to me. You know, I'm not going to fight someone on steroids. I've never taken steroids in my life. Never will. Well, maybe when I retire I might. But I've never taken steroids, and I don't want to fight someone that is cheating. So, and I probably shouldn't even say that if I want to fight, but it's the truth.
Thank you.
Justin, congrats on the win, first of all. How do you feel that this win is not only your win, but also a win for the Hispanic community, that side of your mom, the Mexican side? How does that feel, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, this is, you know, outside of soccer, and soccer doesn't necessarily have the United States. I think this is the most worldwide sport. The farther away from these borders I go, the more popular I am. And that is absolutely amazing. And for the people that do know that my mom is of Mexican heritage, you know, I have so much family down there, and I'm sure they're shooting fireworks, doing whatever they got to do. I mean, I just inspire the world. That's what I'm here for, and that's what I prayed for every day, is the chance to inspire the world. And I think that we all face a constant battle of believing in ourselves. And I wish I believed in myself as much as my coaches and my family, but, you know, again, this feels great.
Thank you.
Hey, Justin. I don't know if you saw Tony Ferguson's fight, but I just wanted your thoughts on that one.
Love that dude. You know, fighting is dangerous, unforgiving, and, you know, hell, he didn't take an ass whooping. He dropped him in the first round. Same thing he did against Chandler. I think it's good and bad, because I think, you know, I think we always have a chance. If you step in there, you have a chance. And, you know, I'm not his family. I'm not close to him. So it's not my call. I have no idea.
Thanks.
Well, like I said, it's a pretty belt. It's going to look great in my house. I mean, it's special. You know, whether this was on the line tonight or not, I did something special tonight. I'm a little bit petty, so I loved Jorge Masvidal while wrapping it around me.
I was going to ask you about that. He put it over your shoulder. Did you want it around your waist, or did you want it over your shoulder?
I didn't care.
Would you?
It's everything's happening so fast. You don't even know what's going on.
Would you defend that belt if you could get pay-per-view points if the title shot isn't next?
I got pay-per-view points this time. Who knows? We'll see. I have a team around me. I say yes to everything, so I don't trust in myself to make those choices.
Oh, Justin in the middle. What'd you think of Utah, Salt Lake City? How was your time here? Did you feel the elevation? How did training go? Just what'd you like or not like about this place?
I live in Denver, so we're 1,000 feet higher. That allowed me to have more confidence in my cardio. But, man, when these guys let me fight at this pace, I can fight all night like that. Felt great. I love this city. It's so clean. People are nice. It's beautiful. I love to play golf here. A lot of beautiful golf courses.
Justin, actually, one more right here. Did you see the video of Kamaru's reaction to your knockout?
No, not yet. I can't wait. My dad cried though. That made me proud.
Is that the first
He says
time?
no, but is that the first time I made him cry? He probably cried when I was born.
So it's been a minute.
Any other questions?
All right, thank you guys. Yes.
Justin, you work so hard. I know you give back to the community and Colorado, and you come from small town Stafford and Gila Valley, and everyone back there is such a huge fan, and they push for you. Is there anything you want to say to all your hometown friends back in Stafford, and Thatcher, Gila, and Greeley County?
I mean, it doesn't matter where you're from. It's who you are. It's how hard you work. The town that I grew up in had half the amount of people that were in the stadium tonight. So, you know, you could be anything you want. You just have to work your ass off and believe in yourself.